Hi everybody, welcome to Honor the Live IG series. I am so excited that you guys are here. Today, I get to talk to somebody that I honestly super deeply enjoy. Her name is Katie Allen and she's gonna be joining us here soon. She is, I'm gonna let her introduce herself, but I can assure you that we're gonna have a blast in this conversation just because this lady's energy is amazing. I am honored to be sharing space. I am so looking forward to this conversation and just her company and her. There she is. So, hi, Katie. Thank you so much for joining me on this live series. And why don't you tell everybody your name and what is it that you do before we get into the topic of, which is pretty related to what you do, own your passion.
Yes, so I'm Katie. I'm a podcaster and a personal stylist, and my journey and my intention is really to just help women feel amazing in their bodies right now, exactly as they are.
I love it. I so love it. So I have a funny story of how I met finally Katie, but I would see her like through here and through there, and just mind you, we are in completely different states. I am in Arizona where it's really hot. She is where it's not really hot, and so I kept hearing her name about, oh yeah, Katie helped me. Oh, Katie helped me. Katie helped me pick the outfit, and I'm like, okay, I just cannot avoid this Katie girl anymore. I feel like I just need to meet her. And I am so glad that I did. So for all of you guys, I want to make sure that everybody knows the fact that a lot of what you have seen me wear lately is because I had the pleasure of asking for Katie as one of my birthday presents. And I gave myself the ability, or what I really needed, the support on choosing and giving myself permission to wear whatever I wanted.
And to own it.
And yes, and own it with like, yes, I get to wear this and it feels right, versus wearing it and thinking like, oh my God, what are they gonna say? I'm a mom of two toddlers, maybe I shouldn't be, like all the things and all the thoughts that we sometimes, I mean, I'm guilty of it, I'm still working on it, of having because of all the thoughts.
Yeah, that's all of the work actually. Like every woman I work with comes to me originally with, burn down my closet, I need new clothes, but really it's, oh my God, I don't know, am I allowed to wear this? Who am I as a mom? Do moms dress like this? Am I too old to dress like this? And it's usually like this inflection point in our life where we're going through something like writing a book or something big where we're growing and we're like, okay, this really doesn't feel good anymore. And who am I? How do I dress for that woman?
Yeah. For me, I think I got stuck in a lot of the labels that I kept picking up by society. I was a wife, so maybe that short dress that shows most of my legs was like, oh, only appropriate if my husband was around. And so then there was a professional one where I'm like, well, I am still young, but I work with like older people, so I should probably dress the part. And so it's all due to the labels that I would think that the label came with a dress code.
Yes.
With like a lot of restrictions of a terrible square in which, honestly, I look like a square.
And you feel like one and you're definitely not. And that's funny because I have squares on my sweater.
Oh, I mean, yes, but I was a boring square, not a super fabulous looking square.
Not a bright pink and orange square.
No.
I always say, like, I think moms, because I'm a mom, and that's where I really feel like I lost my style. Like, I went to fashion school and then got married, had kids, and I was like, I don't know how to dress. Like, completely flew out. And I was like, if I went to fashion school and I didn't know how to dress after being a mom, then that means there's a lot of women out like me out there, and it brings such big energy to you. So I always say, like, look, being a parent, being a mom didn't come with a handbook, and it definitely didn't come with a dress code. So you're allowed to wear whatever you want.
That's right. I honestly have to admit, and I talk about this on the book, after having kids, how much and how long it took me to really get to know myself all over again, because my body changed, my fears changed, my priorities changed, the way that I looked at life and and the world changed, and so and definitely the way that I looked at myself changed. So how long it took me to, from a place of love and compassion, saying, oh my gosh, I love me for all of it, for the stretch marks, for the saggy boobs, for all of it, because it is like who I am now, right? But it took me a while.
There's a lot of pressure to quote unquote bounce back and to be the version of the woman that you were before you had kids. But the reality is, mentally, emotionally, physically, you'll never be that woman. So just let that go. You can bring forward with you the pieces that you love of her that got you to where you are and made the really good decisions. But she has to shift and she has to transform a little bit along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so glad that through my transformation, yes, I wrote the book. Yes, I recently became a mom. I mean, it was 4 years, 3 years ago, but it's still, like you said, motherhood doesn't come with a handbook, and it definitely doesn't come with a dress code. And everybody has opinions about this dress code and what it should look like based on their own personal experience. So how amazing is it to seek for the support or that confidence that you're needing? Because honestly, sometimes wearing what makes you feel like, oh my gosh, yeah, this makes me feel fun, really does change your energy. And
It does.
Yeah, why wouldn't we give that to ourselves?
And I think another one for me, like being a mom, is I want to be more present with my kids, and it's really easy to fall in the trap of busy business owner and I'm a mom and I'm doing all these other things and not being present. And when I have a crappy outfit on, like I'm just going through the motions. I'm not having fun. I'm not stopping to dance and like having a spontaneous dance party with my daughter or anything like that. I'm just like going through the motions of like, rah, rah, rah. It happens to me. Like yesterday I was at the bus stop and I knew my outfit it wasn't there yet, but I had to run, get her to the bus stop. And I was like, it's just not there. And I was like, it's raining. So I'm going to blame it on the rain, or I'm going to blame it on it's a Tuesday after a long weekend. And then I came inside and I changed my pants and I was like, there we are. Now we're ready. Now we can dance in the kitchen while we work.
I mean, why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? And honestly, I tell Katie about this all the time, but my little kid, actually the oldest, the 4-year-old, notices when I'm getting ready. So she comments on the fact that, oh, mommy, I like that. Mommy, I want that. Or mom, and then she sees like these ruffles and she instantly starts dancing because she connects it from when like, oh, mommy, it's going to be fun today because she has the ruffles. So, I mean, why? Why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't give our little kiddos that permission to also invite us to even give that compliment? I think it's awesome that they notice. It's a little bit of pressure because sometimes I do feel like I could just blame the weather. It's 100 degrees. I should just not dress.
And sometimes you're allowed to do that, right? You're allowed to pick those days. My only thing is with that is like, you got to be really intentional because it can become a slippery slope. And we all fell into it, like with COVID and things like that. But it's like, give yourself permission to take a day off. Give yourself permission to not wear the makeup if you don't want to wear the makeup, but don't make it a habit if it doesn't make you feel good or make you feel confident. And I love what you said around the feeling confident and your daughter noticing, because to me, I also think of that too. It's like they notice, they so notice, and you're letting off a completely different energy. And at the same time, you're kind of showing them like there's other ways to live. Like you're showing them the possibilities of life without even saying like, hey, look, I can be a mom and I can do this and I can do all these things. You're just showing them and they're always watching you, even when you think they're not.
Always watching, always watch. And it's so funny because sometimes you don't realize that they're watching until in a whole different scenario they come at you with what you were wearing like a week ago or what you were saying like a week ago or doing. You're like, oh, I thought you were busy with your crackers.
I know. You were just playing with your dolls. It's so true.
Well, Katie, what got you into all this line of joy and business in which you get to support women doing what you do?
Well, I did go to fashion school 20 years ago, and I knew then that that's what I really, really wanted to do. But I made the mistake of not owning myself because I was so young when I got out of college, and I just started like checking the boxes because everyone was like, what are you going to do with that degree? Are you going to move to New York City? And I didn't want to. And I had met my husband in college, and I was like, no, I'm gonna get married and have babies, and I'm gonna have a job. And I just like slowly but surely just let those little pieces like chip away of who I really, really was. And then in the pandemic, like a lot of people, I was gifted the opportunity of getting let go from my job. And I had to do some serious, serious inner work on like, who am I? My ego was shattered. Like, who am I really? And I had kind of started the journey. I had started the podcast before the pandemic. So I was heading down that road, and I really was just openly just sharing on the podcast, like, hey, I don't know what this podcast is about, but I'm assuming you're probably a lot of like me. You've checked some boxes. You seemingly should be really happy. So like, what's missing on the outside if we have everything? And it was really just like my purpose. And like, what do I really, really want to do with my life? It's something that I'm so passionate about. So when I was in the pandemic and I lost my job, I just started getting dressed. I just started getting dressed every day. I was like, okay, we're just going to take a shower. We're going to get dressed. That's how we're going to get through today. And then it started to come back to me. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, I have a client. She's doing a photo shoot. She doesn't know what to wear. And I was like, oh, just wear this. And she's like, how much do I owe you? And I was like, don't worry, it's free. And she's like, no, people get paid to do this. And I was like, it was like the heavens parted. And I was like, oh my God, they do. I have a college education and like, fashion history and fabrics and all these things. And I was like, and like, that was it. And I was like, I know what I want to do. And I can really approach it from the way that I use it to like make myself feel good. Not like, oh, you look good and we're going to put you on the cover of Vogue, but like, I feel good. Like, how do I want to feel? Like, I'm navigating one of the scariest moments of my life globally and in my house of like losing my career after 11 years, being the breadwinner, being all those things. And like my whole family shifting. And I was like, this is something I can hold on to and I can touch every day when I feel like I'm spinning out of control, and I can feel good in my body now. Right. And I can ground myself now. And I was like, I've got to share this with other women. I think it's part of the mental wellness journey that we overlook because of all the things that have been crammed down our throat as little girls around how we should dress and how we should look and how we should act. But really, to me, it's around feeling good. Then everything else flows behind it.
I so agree, but I feel like this is finally connecting with me. Like I also did the same thing. I had a corporate job for forever, 14 years it took me to be like, oh my God, I hate my job. And and I kept fighting it because I'm like, well, I am good at it. It's easy. I have done it for so long. Why would I let go of the comfort? Why would I? And that's the thing. I was so comfortable and I felt so safe, but I was so bored and I was so like I leave to use my PTO and I was quickly running out of it. So
yes.
I noticed that I couldn't continue living the life that I really, really wanted to based on the PTO that, yes, this company was gracious and gave me plenty because I had been for them, like worked for them for
so
14
long.
years. But I was still like, this is not enough. And now my kids are watching and now I don't really have enough time for them if I want to do everything. So yeah, having to let go of the comfort and the safe to really get back to who am I? What lights me up? Why does it light me up? What are people asking of me on my everyday life that I'm not even noticing? And then can I be brave enough to actually step on that and own it, right?
Yeah, and own it. That's it. Because nothing about this journey is fabulous and amazing, but nothing about it's comfortable. Like,
nothing
comfortable.
No.
It's free and it's fun and it's passionate, but comfortable is not the word I would use.
I know. And you know what? Instagram makes it look so pretty and so easy and so fashionable and like everybody has it together. But in my case, there has been so many tears. I have broken shit left and right.
Dude, me too, all the time. That's why I love having my podcast, because it's an amazing space to be like authentic and truthful and like, this is me. Like, yeah, this is me on Instagram too, but this one-dimensional version of things that I believe in. But also I'm crying too, like all the time. And I'm messy too. And I don't wear makeup when I go to the grocery store. But sometimes when I'm doing scary stuff, I dress in a color or a fabric that makes me feel amazing, so I can show up and show out.
Yes. I love the fact that, and I want to comment on this because I had the pleasure of working with you, and every time that we met, I left every single call feeling like I was already wearing the best outfit of my, like, for the day, for my life, for the person that I really want to be. And yes, I am going through this transition, but there's something about the energy that you bring to every single call that it, it's hard to believe that you're not like right here.
You know, and sometimes I wish I was.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But
go ahead. I was going to just say thank you. I'm receiving.
No, yes, but like what? Like I don't, I don't know that that has anything to do with fashion. Like
Yeah.
I think that yes, what you do and you are amazing. I mean, look at me, I look great.
But I know. I was like, oh, I'm very proud stylist moment over here, and we match.
And we match. That's right. And I swear we did not plan this.
We did not plan this.
So yeah. But like, what motivates you to just show up every single day and like fill people's cup with your joy, your energy?
Oh, thank you so much. Well, for one, you're an easy person to have fun with because I feel like you showed up the same way too. But I really think it's the passion. I think it's really when you find something that like you can really live for and you can really believe in, you want to share that with other women. And like going back a little bit to being in corporate for so long, there's so many things that, and I'm trying to say this like in the most best way, like there's so many things that can drain your energy. And I just think being a woman and a mom and anyone that identifies with that like nurturing role of mothering, whatever that looks like for you, it's just a special place in the world that I just really don't think gets enough credit for everything that goes into it. And that's a big driving force for me is I just want other women to just know they're amazing. And someone said to me before, like, we teach what we need to know. And for me, it's always confidence. I feel like I was really good at putting on outer confidence, but inside feeling like I wasn't enough or like, oh, am I really good at this? Is this really my passion? Like, and I feel like I was constantly having to like look for outside validation. So I've really been leaning into working on the inside. And so I'm just trying to pay that forward. And so I really think that's it, is like teaching what you need to know. And for me, it's deep, deep inside confidence. It's really easy to look confident on the outside, but to feel it on the inside. And I just want every woman that I come in contact with to feel that. And to be honest, like one of my core values is to have fun and humor and to make jokes. So like if we're not making jokes and doing funny voices and that's not your jam, then just don't even get on the phone with me because I'm just not here to not have fun. Like if I'm going to run a business, then I get to make it. And that was the one thing I always missed. I can be super serious and we can strategize and tell jokes at the same time. I'm multi-talented like that. We can do both.
I so agree. And I do think that that's one of the benefits that you have to grab on as an entrepreneur, right? Like I'm creating this the way that works for me, the way that I get to be in alignment with all of my values. And like, I'm the same way. I love having a good time, but I am also super direct. Like I'm not going to lie to your face and be like, I tell you what you want to hear when I know that maybe you're going to need some rough love, but I'm going to do it in a fun way to where like, okay, I'm not,
yeah,
but I'm also not going to stay quiet just because it might hurt your feelings, you know? So it's creating that space that works for you, for who you are today, for your purpose, aligned to your values. I feel like that's a freedom that honestly, I don't think I ever experienced until I became an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think humor and having fun is a great way to walk that line of it's uncomfortable and like even asking for feedback or, you know, like telling someone. And it was like what I do, right? Like your body's really intimate and we all have years of conditioning around it. Everyone's different on their conditioning, their beliefs, their culture, their parents, whatever that looks like for them. So like for me, making it fun is just a way for us to get serious, to have really tough conversations around things that can be really triggering, but in a way that we can separate ourselves from it, like just like that little teeny buffer between me and my emotion, so I can look at it with a sense of like self-awareness, instead of being like, why do I hate my stretch marks, or why do I feel like I need to bounce back, or whatever. That everyone's version is radically different. So that's why I like the fun and the humor. Like what you said, it's like, I don't want, you're not paying me to tell you that you look good in clothes you don't look good in. And I don't want to hurt your feelings, but that doesn't look good. So and I'm only doing it to help you. So like, I think it's really important to have the fun and deep connection, because you have to get really vulnerable with each other. So I think that's another big core value too, is like really vulnerable when you're sharing in that space.
Yeah,
And luckily that's a strength of mine.
Yes. I do agree. Yes, I agree. I do think that I don't know that it's popular, or that a lot of people go out of their way to really get to know their values, because we're so conditioned by the culture that we live in, the society, or the corporate that you work on,
Yeah,
or the,
and their values.
right, or the family that you grow up in. Like, we are just so conditioned, and we don't. And I'm not to say that that's a bad thing, but it is definitely like a really good thing to zoom out and study, just to, so you can really decide what's serving you, what was like, what you can be grateful for. Something that I carry safety most of my life, and I'm so grateful for it, because it did keep me safe many times. But now, like, if I were to drag onto safety, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing right now. If I would have stayed safe and comfortable, you wouldn't have a book in your hands here soon. Like, there's a lot of me that you wouldn't really get to know, because it's not comfortable for me to share a lot of the stories in that book, right? Or in a lot of the podcast interviews that we are having, or any of it, really. So how sometimes it's just that invitation of reflecting on, like, the values that are learned, and the values that you want to keep, or that you want to feed into every single day on your day forward. Don't you think?
I agree, because if you were still rooted in safety, you probably wouldn't have that really cute top on right now.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
And that's one of my favorite things, like when I first start working with clients, it's like, how do you want to feel? If they want to go really deep, like, let's get into your values, let's take some quizzes, because that's what you should be wearing. Your clothes should reflect that on a daily basis, whether you're sitting at home Zooming all day or you're out in the office. Like, there should be something on your body that reflects that back to you. So in that moment, in that hustle, and whatever that is, you can always come back to that. And that's my intention with getting dressed, is that's why it feels good, because it feels like you in your deepest, realest self.
Yeah. And learning that the fact that safety is something completely relevant, and you can actually learn to feel safe in yourself.
Yeah.
Before anything or anybody has anything to say, you are already safe, because you decided to be. Like,
yes. Teach me more of that.
But that's a speech that I told myself when I was like, okay, I want to wear this, and I want to just do it, and I want to go drop off my kids on this outfit that just took my belly, but it's all good.
Yeah. But it comes through so you, like, it's so you, and it's so intentional that nothing can be wrong with it, because your confidence and your energy is walking into that room before you do. And and this is the thing with clothes, is it's speaking before you speak, right? So you're constantly communicating with your clothes. It's up to you what you want to communicate. And I think that's really the power, is you're coming in and you're communicating like, I'm here to have fun and get down to business. So like, let's do the thing.
I mean, they do say that they do judge a book by its cover, and that is kind of like the same thing with a person and their outfits, right?
Yeah. I mean, we all don't want to be, right? Like, we all strive to not judge people, but it's an instinct, going back to being safe. Like, your brain is constantly scanning. Like, am I safe? Am I safe? Does this person remind me of that person? Like, and we do that based on clothes. Like, if there's someone that you don't consider a safe person and this person's dressing like them, then instantly you're transferring that emotion to that person, good or bad. And clothes carry emotions. They carry emotions for the person that's wearing it and for the person that's being communicated. So we all would love to say that we're not judging people, but Instagram wouldn't be so popular and wouldn't exist if we all didn't love aesthetics. So they do matter, but you have to make them matter to you. That's why I think going back to the values and really dressing for intentionally how you want to feel is key, because then you always have somewhere to ground yourself that isn't just, oh, like Vogue told me to do this, or this is what's trending. I'm like, I'm all about what's trending, but if it doesn't fit with me, it doesn't fit with me, and that's cool. There's someone else out there that it does. That's why there's like 8 million trends every season, because you're gonna like one of them.
That's right. Uh, Kathy is saying that we're sensory beings, and we are. And
Yes.
you feel the energy in the room, and sometimes, yes, the clothes are giving you that vibe of like, okay, well, she's having a bad day, or she's
Mm-hmm.
not.
And Kathy always makes me have a good day, so thank you.
Yes, Kathy always does make everybody have a good
I
day.
know. I was talking to her earlier about this.
Oh, awesome. Well, what else should we touch on before we part ways? Because I want to honor your time.
Well, I'd like to talk about all these amazing pictures that you've been posting for your photo shoot for your new book. And let's talk about that. Like the book, I've been reading it. It's amazing. So all of the things we've been talking about, like talking about you dressing for yourself and like me getting to know you on that level, totally comes through in your book, like 1,000%. Like I'm not all the way done, but I was in the bath on my Kindle and I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so in your voice. This is what I love. Is it's so in your voice. It's so personal. I can like envision you on the back of this scooter doing these things in this dusty town, doing these things. But it's like your favorite like fairy tale. Every chapter is like followed up with the lesson to be learned and like how you can become a better person and the takeaway, like what you've learned from it. And I love how you do that. So one, I just want to give you shout out and big props on that. Anyone that's watching, that you have to download the book, get the book. It's amazing and you should really do it. But let's talk more about how you felt amazing in your outfits when you were doing your photo shoot, because they are so good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I definitely received the compliments of on the book. Writing a book is a very personal journey. It's kind of like when I was getting undressed in front of you in the closet and showing you what looked good on me and what didn't, but in a writing format, in a word
Yep.
format. And you definitely get deep nude with yourself to get to the next level. So thank you. I so appreciate that. But once I did, like once I got so deep into I've been working on getting to know myself and loving myself and accepting it and embracing every part of who I am for a while. Once you read my book, you're gonna be like, this is when she started. You know, you'll see it. You'll see the difference. So I had my very first official photo shoot ever. I am 34 years old, guys. This is the first time that I paid somebody to tell me how to sit pretty and like fabulously smile. And the amazing thing that I did not expect is the confidence that I had on saying, I think those things would look like I had never seen it together, but I think we should do it because it shows two parts of me that I think are important for me, right? And so I gave myself the permission to wear a beautiful, more to come.
Yeah,
But it's
don't
kind
get it
of
all.
like a dressy shirt with a very fabulous big red skirt, and it just felt so like, yes, I am a life coach and I can be dressed up and I am business, but oh my god, do I love a good time, and can we dance and can we have a party and can we just enjoy it and can we just have a fun with the journey? And I think that the photo shoot was so successful because I allowed myself to fully be and broke. I mean, Katie gave me like a list of things that I was like, you should keep in mind like the following things when dressing yourself. And I was like, I mean, yes, yes, yes. But she also gave me permission to break them. And I'm like, I think I might be breaking a few, but this feels so fun. And we're going to go with it.
Know the rules, break the rules. That's my big motto. Because I think that's a great way to build confidence too. Well, for one, the photo shoot's amazing. It looks amazing. And I love that you embodied that, because the more I learn about myself and navigate life, I think the magic really is in the and, like the both, having both feelings at once, being able to do two opposite things at once and holding space for both of those. But you just said something that, speaking of like of Kathy earlier, she said to me when we were talking earlier, she was like, like you're never going to get there. The journey never ends. So you should enjoy it. the whole time. And I totally butchered it, but you get the point.
No, I'm not. And it's honestly, it is what it is. I am officially a work in progress for the rest of my life. And I am
Nice.
so glad to be because it gives me so much permission to constantly learn. And when I know better, I'll do better. I don't know it all. I'm going to mess up a few things. I destroy my website in 5 clicks. Shit happens left and right.
Yes.
But if I cannot laugh about it, if I cannot have a good time with it, then can you imagine how exhausting it would all feel?
Because it'd be for nothing. A masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. That's it. Because you are.
Thank you, and so are you. So are you. Okay, well, I know that Kathy's live and a few others. So Katie is as a stylist, and I am a life coach. So if you have any questions for us, this is probably the time. As we wrap this up, what do you say, Katie?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. While we're waiting, Kathy said, "We're amazing. Thank you. You are."
Yes, and you are such an inspiration too, Kathy.
Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, please. I have a session with her tomorrow. I can't wait. But when's your book come out officially? I know it's live on the Kindle app that I downloaded, but
Yes,
talk about
yes.
the
Well,
juicy details.
the juicy details. So, On Your Dance is a book that I proudly wrote, and it's a collection of personal stories in which I invite you to reflect and give yourself the permission to own your journey and to embrace yourself for exactly who you are. But it officially comes out September 27th. So I hope that you all mark your calendar because it is going to be a party. We are going to make this as fun as we possibly can. This is the biggest project that I have had and the hardest.
Yeah.
So, which means that I should probably have the most fun putting it out into the world.
Yes. Yes.
So, what was the first purchase after working with Katie, or what thing did your closet? Oh, what thing did I rediscover in my closet?
I know. I think I know.
I mean, I definitely started wearing the red lipstick a little more often. And the biggest purchase, I don't know, Katie, help me here, because I have to say, Katie reused a lot of the stuff that I already had in my closet. So my shopping list was not large, but it was.
I would say the biggest thing was you wearing more of the tanks and the crops with your skirts and pairing those.
Yeah, so I had them, and I wouldn't really wear them. I would just look at them like, yes, one day, yes, one day. And I think after a very first session, I don't even know if we were fully like on board working together, but yes, I started wearing them. And like, let me show you what I'm wearing today. Because see, these are cropped up.
Woo!
Hands up.
I love it. Spirit fingers. I love it. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's the same for a lot of women. And the journey starts the day you commit, right? You pay, you commit. You're like, okay, well, no turning back now. Yeah. And you start taking action and you give yourself permission. And that's it. It's really giving yourself permission and just moving that needle and just putting that energy out there. The transformation starts that day once you've committed to yourself that you're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I was just like, well, I already have it. Why am I not wearing it? And I started wearing it to the most random things. So like the other day I just went to Sprouts and I looked fabulous, but I was feeling good.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, any other questions, Katie, or anybody else that is joining? Otherwise, let's thank Katie for her time, for coming to share her life with us. And
thank you.
Any parting words?
I would say my parting words should always just lean into how you want to feel and then embody that and just stay true to that. And you're never wrong. Sorry, I'm like about to cough. You're never wrong if you're just basing it off of how you truly want to feel inside and serving others.
I so agree, and thank you so much for sharing your light. I hope I will see more of you very often, but I cannot wait, and I appreciate your visions. And everybody that is watching, I hope that you're enjoying this live series in which every single day we get to learn from somebody that is amazing, owning their path, owning, in this case, passion and their path, their journey. And I hope that this inspires you to do the same. And if you need the extra motivation, my book does come out September 27th. And I hope that in there you find like all the inspiration you need to start your journey.
Yes, go get the book. Those are my parting words. Go get the book.
Thank you, Katie. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.